Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. All right. As always, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to get in here so we can get started. Hope everybody gets the notifications on time. What's up, the Geek Surgeon? What's happening? This is a place to kill your inner financial slavery. That is true. That is true. As always, I'm going to get a few minutes. So I need to get, who's that? Pokey G? Pokey G. Yeah, I got to get, hey, what's up, Kay? How you doing? Good afternoon. Pokey G said I could have some of his music. I could use some of his music on the opening. You know how people play music during the opening of the videos, man. And I keep not doing it. That's what I keep not doing. And he's got some good, like, just not vocals, but he's got good, really good music. Here, let me see what. Give you guys the channel I'm talking about. Young man. I like his, I've subscribed to him. I just like what he throws together. Here's the link to who I am talking about. What's up, Aaron? Yeah, right there. So I promise the next time we start, I'm going to get one of his songs, a little bit of his music and play it during the beginning because we need something that filler time. It just has to be there for some reason. I'm not really a big, to play all the good music, but during this time, it needs to be there. And see if I got to ask him, see if I can even play his video, not certain videos, right? But videos during the opening would be nice. But I like his music. So there's the link to his music there. All right. Hello, everyone. I see everybody coming in here. Aaron says, LJ, what do you think? What do you think you could get? What do you think you could get me a 6-figure job working remotely since the UK salary is only 5 figures in IT? I haven't been in the IT game since 2016, so I really don't, that's just not my area anymore, Kay says, you need an instrument beat with your vocals, SavingsMinusDebt. Gotcha. Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe Pokey's listening. Maybe he'll throw something together. I hope I'm saying it right. It's Poke EG or Poke. I gotta ask him to see how I pronounce it right. I just want to make sure. I always like to figure out how to pronounce people's names right, even in other languages. I just think that's important. For me, it is. What's up, Sals? James, how you doing? All right, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where slaves live. Now, there's two kinds of slaves. There's unconscious slaves and conscious slaves. Unconscious slaves don't trust math, and they don't know they don't trust math, hence unconscious. Conscious slaves were once unconscious, woke up, found, and that was me. I was a conscious slave, basically. Woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, take the arithmetic that we all learned in grade school, apply it to your finances using these baby steps, and then you'll be free. That's what I did. I said, oh, damn, it's just math? Yeah, it's just math. And then once I took what Mr. Ramsey showed me, and since I understood that it was just mathematics, I stripped out the religion because religion has nothing to do with mathematics. Even the part to where Mr. Ramsey says, start putting away money for retirement once you get down to your mortgage. But according to the laws of mathematics, you can't put away, you don't have any money to put away for retirement if you have a mortgage. Because if you open up the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit enter, does the calculator say you have any money to put away for retirement? No, then you can't. All right, that's impossible according to the laws of mathematics. So that's what SMD does. SMD goes by the laws of mathematics. Now, when I was getting out of debt, following Mr. Ramsey's steps, I didn't realize I was a slave until I got completely out of debt. Now, as I'm getting out of debt, excuse me, I got a little bit of cold that I'm getting over, okay? So as I'm getting out of debt, I didn't realize, it's weird, I didn't realize I was a slave until I got to north of zero. Once I got to north of zero, I realized that I had been living in debt my whole entire life, meaning I didn't own anything I saw in my life. I was a slave. Who was I a slave to? To all the people, all the businesses, excuse me, all the businesses that I owed money to. I was a slave to them. One second here. Sorry, I had to blow my nose real quick. And so now I'm free. Now what I do is once I got out of debt, I created SMD. SMD is a family. I'm LJ. SMD, Savings Minus Debt, is a family, right? It's not me. It's a bunch of people. So what I came on here today to talk about yesterday, okay? So I had after yesterday's broadcast, I had a few people reach out to me and kind of talk to me about a few things, and which I appreciate. You know, I don't do a lot of cursing in my videos, and the reason why I do that is because I want the younger audience to listen to. I want parents to be able to come to the SMD channel and be able to put their child in front of a SMD video and be able to walk away without worrying about anything, right? Now, mind you, is this a kid's channel? No. It is an adult channel, but that amount of cursing is unacceptable. Okay, I can't do that, and I'm not saying there's a reason for it, but sometimes you know, being an entrepreneur and the sacrifices that you must make to become successful sometimes gets very frustrating. Okay, and that part I really can't explain, because this is the first time I've ever been on such a journey, and also the task that I've taken upon myself to go against millions of people the way they think a certain way. And I get it. I totally understand why millions of people don't understand this. And it's supposed to be that way. Okay. It's not, I know it's weird the way I say that, but the majority must be slaves for the economy to work. But that's not neither here nor there. I cannot. And this happens to, I've noticed this happens to me about once a year. I'll get on the mic, curse more than I normally do, and then I'll have S&D family members reach out to me and say, "Hey, LJ, what's up, man? What's going on? Because this is not you, right? It's not you." And I really appreciate you guys that did that, that are not afraid to tell me when I do things like that, because sometimes I just I got to catch myself doing that, because I want younger children to get the message. I do. But I don't want parents to be worried about now please understand, I'm not saying that I'm not going to cuss at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I won't do it to the degree that I did like yesterday. Okay. I was more, it has nothing to do with a person, my relationships, or it's really unexplainable. Sometimes it just comes over you, and then I have to recognize when it comes over me like that, because I represent SMD, right? Savings Minus Debt. And I cannot let that happen. Okay. Again, I'm not saying I'm not cussing at all. I do cuss every now and then. I use curse words to bring up a point, to get your attention, but not to overly do it, right? I just don't, you know. And so I was thinking about it after I got off a few messages yesterday from S&D family members, letting me know. And again, I appreciate that, right? That I cannot let that happen. I can't do that. I cannot. It's weird because I feel that inside that I cannot be SMD cannot be messed with or whatever. But there's different ways of saying that by just doing it, not just saying it, right? And the way that I say it, okay, that's very, very important. Okay. So I want to apologize to the S&D family for doing that, doing it in that way, okay, in that particular way. That's the wrong way. Okay, that's not the right way. You guys know who I am. Of course, not all the way personally because you don't live with me, right? But and I don't want you to think that just because I say an entrepreneur's frustration that I'm allowed to do that, that I just can't do. I can't let that happen. Okay, I cannot do that. Sometimes when you decide to, if you ever decide to take your own journey of being an entrepreneur, and not the entrepreneur to where everybody just throws out that word, because after a while you hear entrepreneur, you really don't know what that means, right? Especially if you haven't taken the steps to become a true one, right? Because it takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of you're going to go through a lot of ups and downs. You're going to go through some frustrations. You're going to get a lot of opinions of people that not going to like you, what you're doing. All that's it just comes with it, right? But you got to understand that it's just part of the game. But this particular game, what I'm doing, millions of people don't do. Millions of people have no idea that this even exists. All right. And sometimes I'll let it, unfortunately, let it get to me. And again, it happens to me. It happened to me once last year. And it's that same time a couple of S&B family members reached out and said, hey, man, LJ, that ain't you. You don't, yeah, you cuss, but you don't cuss like that. Okay, that's just over. I mean, they don't say it like that. And people, I want to make sure people understand that they can. I want you to understand that LJ makes mistakes too. But I also want you to understand that it's okay to reach out to me and express that, especially if you're a follower, right? I don't want you to think, I mean, you can go through all my videos and see that I'm naturally not like that. So when you see me act like that, right, it's abnormal. Okay. And it has nothing to do with anybody. It doesn't, it just, every now and then it just, like, for example, let me give you an example. When I first started saying slave, right, there were a whole bunch of people that got offended with slave, right? I'm not going to stop saying slave. Okay. I don't really care how people feel about that. I still don't care about the opinions of slaves because it's a choice. But the way I was saying it yesterday and cursing with it is different. You see what I'm saying? Slave, I'll never stop. Will I put slave on a shirt? No, because that's going to cause fights. And I don't want S&D family members wearing the shirts getting hurt or whatever. I don't want that, right? But at the same time, the delivery is important. It's very important. And I can't have, I don't want curse words disrupting my message, especially to the younger generation, because what I really want is if I can get the younger generation to listen to SMD, they won't know what it's like to be in debt. They won't know what it's like to not have money for the power bill or not enough money for gas, and that won't exist for them. They will grow up like when they turn 18, at that moment they're free. But if I can catch kids at 12, 11, they will, even when they turn 18 and beyond, they will be free for the rest of their lives. And 1 second. I'm sorry, you guys are still coming over a cold. 1 second here. Had to blow my nose there. And so I don't want that message to be disrupted by that, right? I refuse to let SMD get mixed in with the rest of the stuff on the internet, that is in that particular category, right? So, but it sometimes it does get it gets frustrating every now and then, because it takes a lot of sacrifice to go for something that millions of people have never done. Millions. When I look at when I started this, every day when I see what Mr. Dave Ramsey has accomplished, and you kind of walk through those shoes, it really helps me have much more respect for what he's done. Now, that's Dave Ramsey style. I'm not saying I'm going to the religion side. That's his style, right? That's his. But this is my style. But at the same time, if I want to reach as many people as possible, I cannot do that. That cannot happen. Okay. I cannot lose it. I cannot let my frustrations come out on camera. All right. Because it's not just me anymore. I want people to be able to wear SMD shirts proudly without worrying about LJ getting on a stage and, going off, or just stuff like that. Even though I would never do that on somebody else's channel, I cannot do that on my own channel. You understand? So again, I want to apologize to the SMD family for letting my frustrations come out like that. Again, it happens. It's happened twice now. Okay. It happened once about a year and a half ago, and it happened one more time yesterday. And the one before was really bad. Right. And again, I thank the people that reached out to me and kind of like, hey, L, what's up? What's up with that? Glad you guys can join. No specific topic. It's just more that I was thinking about this all night. Well, actually, no, not all night. After probably early in the morning, I started getting some messages about that. Nothing really, spectacular like that, Poindexter, but just the cursing. I can't do that because I have a younger audience that watches, and I want parents to feel comfortable leaving their kids. I want them to be able to put up a SMD video and walk out the room and be comfortable with it. You know what I'm saying? So to the parents that do let your children watch, I appreciate it. And I will make sure that never happens again. But I want you guys to know that when the ones that are going to take the chance and go out on your own, you're going to run into things that are going to frustrate you, because I know when you're watching videos about entrepreneurship and stuff like that, they only can give you an idea of what it's like, but you will not know until you do it yourself. Okay. Again, there's not many people that's going to do this journey that I'm doing. I chose this path because it's a very difficult path. This path I'm going is very, very difficult, but the rewards are so much better because I'm changing people's lives. I'm helping children that watch this never become slaves, ever. They won't even know what that feels like to be a slave. They'll never know. They'll hear about it. Oh, LJ told me about slaves. I hear about slaves all the time on the S&D channel. Do I know personally how a slave feels? No. That brings, I don't know, that's some kind of, it's such a rewarding feeling when I hear you guys come to me and say, LJ, you changed my life. Because people don't hear that on a daily basis. They just don't hear, nobody accidentally says that to another person. You don't accidentally say that, hey man, hey, what's up, Bob? Hey man, you changed my life. That just doesn't come out of your mouth, right? It has to happen. It's something that you have to feel. Shout out to Micro Rambo. We appreciate the transfer. Yes, sir. Of course. I mean, you've been rolling with me long enough, Mike. You know pretty much how I am. And if I come out of character like that, and that's not even a character, come out of my normal, that means I'm human too. I want you guys to understand I'm human. Okay, it happens. All right. You could be with your partner, right? And they could say something to you that's really nothing. They didn't say anything wrong, but if you frustrated, you'll snap at them, right? And then once something comes out of your mouth, it's too late. Now you got to clean it up. And that's what I'm doing. Okay. Once it comes out, that's it. That's what I got to do. I got to clean it up. Let you guys know that I'm human. Let you know that sometimes the journey gets rough, but I'm not stopping. It's never, I'm going to do this until I'm dead. That's a promise right there. I will be doing this until I'm dead. But I'm going to make sure I do it the correct way. Right. And again, I'm not saying I'm never cursing. I don't want you guys to ever think that. I'm just not going to do it the way I did it yesterday. Okay. And I know a lot of other channels do it, but that's them. That has nothing to do with me. Let's see y'all's in here. I appreciate you guys all coming in here. And what's up, Jewel? Didn't see you sneak in there. Yes, this is, and I'm gonna keep it that way. I mean, what is it, like PG? I'm gonna say it's PG. All means yes. Slave judgment friendly. Yes, yes. Slaves. Now you guys know I'm never stopping to say slave. So if you're coming in this channel and you don't like the word slave, you should probably leave now, because I use that extensively and I'm never gonna stop. That's never stopping. Okay. Yeah, you're right about that. I will. That will happen. So I won't do that. Yes, we are. Sal says, slaves hate the word slave. I financed my 2021 BMW 750. Oh, you went big boy. What? Your BMW or the bank's BMW? Yeah, that's the 750. I remember that. Oh, they still have that models too. Does he say slave all the time? I've never really listened to Dave say slave. He probably does. I remember when I first started listening to Dave Ramsey, I remember people used to always I used to hear people talk about, oh, who Dave think he is? He think he's all that. And I was like, he doesn't sound like that to me. He doesn't sound like he's a bad person. He's mean. He doesn't sound like that to me. Even when I was a slave, he didn't sound mean to me. I just to me, and maybe because I was a computer engineer, and that's what you deal with is, data and numbers is zeros and ones. So when he was speaking math, it just made sense. Okay, the math is right. So he's obviously right. So I wish you existed 20 years ago when I was 18. You know what? And everybody that comes to S&D and hears what I say, hear what I talk about, they all say, I wish I had known this X time, right? And even myself, I've said that many times when I first got out of debt, but you got to remember, I had to take this journey. All those things I had to learn along the way were lessons. Each lesson I obviously passed because I'm here talking to you guys. So I obviously passed all these lessons, because one thing I've noticed along this journey, until I pass the lesson keeps repeating. It just keeps repeating and keeps repeating and keeps repeating until I finally get it. And then it moves on to the next lesson. The lessons never stop. Even yesterday, I consider yesterday a lesson. It takes a lot to humble yourself to say, hey, you know what? It's not really bad, but it's horrible, but it's bad enough for me, because it's not just me anymore. I can't do things and say things because I represent everybody that's part of S&D. So I can't do that. I can't do that. Either I just shut up, walk away, don't say nothing, or just don't get on the camera that day or something, right? I just can't do that. But at first I have to recognize that I'm frustrated about something, okay? Lukewarm slaves. And hey, man, and when you guys, and let me tell you something, man, when you guys come to other channels and support me, and then you guys get into the comments saying slave splaining, I think that's amazing when I'm sitting on the panels, right? And you start hearing slave splaining. I see you guys right in there, right away. Oh, he's slave splaining. I'm like, yeah, they get it. They can see it. They can see it. The slave splaining. Where's the video you're going off of? Was it on? Oh yeah, it was. It counts on what you consider going off. I'm talking when I say go off like this, I'm saying I was cursing more than I normally do. That's me. Okay, that's what I mean by going off. Okay, now a lot of you guys that's probably go to those type of channels that do a lot of cursing, you probably don't think it's a big deal. It's a big deal to me and the SMD family. Okay, I can't do that. I'm not saying I'm not cursing at all. I'm saying that I'm not doing it like that. Okay. Sal says my credit score is slave, stop it. LJ, how many people out here trying to start businesses but are still slaves? Yeah, I know. You know, it's crazy about that. What's crazy about that is had I known, I thank the universe that I got out of debt before starting a business, because if you're a slave and you don't know you're a slave, you don't own yourself, you're going to naturally carry those same habits over to business. You're going to do that because you don't know any different. And this is what's crazy. If you look at the bigger picture, if slaves didn't exist, if slaves didn't know you can't be a homeowner unless you got the money to buy a house, the housing market couldn't exist. All right. The housing market wouldn't exist. Like, for example, if all the slaves woke up and said, oh shit, you mean I'm not a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage? And then they said, I'm walking away from this house, the housing market would crash. That's the same way with business. They cross over to business, they get a business loan. And now they think, now on top of being a business owner, they believe they're a homeowner and a business owner. Now, I know you're thinking, wait a minute, LJ, I thought you said you didn't care about business loans. It's different. When you get out of debt first, and then you cross over to business, when you get a business loan, you will be able to handle that very different. You will be treated different by the banks when you go to get a business loan. I promise you. I promise you. Slaves feel like they need to finance the new thing. That's part of business. That's the wheel. You notice how slaves always talk about being the rat on the wheel. They say it like it's nothing. Oh man, yeah, I'm that rat on the wheel. But they don't know what the wheel is or how it's powered. Financing. First you come at 18. Your parents tell you to get a credit card. It starts. And then you finance a car. And then you get more credit cards. And then you do this. And then you get and then it's the wheel. That's how it's powered. That's how it's powered. Yesterday's video, J.I. Yesterday's video. Sal says I should change my name to the slave troll. For you, LJ, to blow up, you need to go to famous podcast and just talk and become viral. Well, like I said, there's something in the works right now for a pretty big podcast channel right now. I'm not going to really announce it until it's in concrete, till it's set, because I'm gonna wait. I'm not going to say anything to anybody. If it doesn't happen, you guys will never know about it, and I don't really want to even talk about it. But I want but on this channel, SMD will blow up. I promise you. SMD will blow up because they will never have heard a person like me before, ever. That's the one thing I know for a fact. Any podcast channel I go on, They will have never, ever had a person like me on that channel. Guaranteed. Never. Did she say she financed a designer brand? I'm not sure what you guys talking about there. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. What's up, cupcakes? Do they check personal credit before you get? I don't know. I've never had a business loan, so I've never needed a business loan as of yet. So, but this is when I say, one second. I'm coming over cold. 1 second. When I say, okay, let's put it this way. Okay. If you stay out of debt, right? And you stack your bread working a regular job, and then you just along that journey you start thinking about, okay, this job is a tool. Along your journey of having a job, you start thinking about what it is that you would love to be doing for a living and create a business from it. By the time you're ready to go to the bank to get a business loan, whatever, maybe you need one, okay? I'm not against business loans. When you go to apply for a loan and the bank runs your credit, they're going to see that you have a stack of money in the bank and no debt. They're going to treat you totally different because people don't come in the bank looking for business. The majority of people looking for business loans, they're in debt. The bank knows that. So the bank, you got to remember, the bank thinks like this. If they haven't taken care of the business of themselves, you think they're going to treat a business outside of themselves better than they treat themselves? They're not. They're not going to treat they're not going to treat a business outside of you. Nobody's going to treat something outside of themselves better than themselves. So you got to remember how the banks think. They just trust the laws of mathematics. Oh, you're deep in debt. Wow, you got 20-year-old student loans. You got child support. You got tickets that you ain't paid in 5 years, and you want a business loan. They're going to financially abuse you because you don't know. They're going to take advantage of you. They know that if you haven't paid off student loans, you're never going to pay off this business loan. You're never going to pay it off because you haven't paid off those. So they're going to treat you accordingly. But if you walk into the bank with no debt, which they hardly, I guarantee you they hardly ever see, and you got money in the bank, and how long you've had that money in the bank? Oh man, yeah, okay, yeah, this person's we're gonna get our money back. They obviously have the money. They obviously are very disciplined, and they have no debt. So they're going to treat you accordingly. I promise you. You're right. And even when I do, it has to be something serious. It has to be something very serious. Okay. Because again, I want the parents to be able to wear these shirts proudly. I want the parents to buy their kids these shirts and wear them proudly and not be worried about it. I want to be invited to schools. But at the same time, I do want the parents to know this is an adult channel, but it's more like PG. Okay. If you don't like the word slave, this is probably not the channel for you. You shouldn't come here. Because if you take offense to it and start thinking about the slaves that you've been programmed to think on TV and all that stuff, this is not that kind of slave. This is the debt slaves. Mercu, only morons started business on a loan. Some of you just love debt, no matter whether it's personal or business. You know what? It's like this. I get what the millionaires like Robert Kiyosaki, what's his name? Mark Cuban. You got to remember, those guys are not talking to slaves, right? They're not, like when he says only morons get business loans. Okay, he's not saying everybody that gets a business loan is a moron. Only people in debt that get business loans are probably morons, okay? Because it makes no sense. If you got 20-year-old student loans, you have no business getting a business loan. You have no business doing that. But the banks they're going to treat you accordingly because you don't know. They're going to take financial advantage of you. For business loans with a PG personal guarantee, they will run your personal credit. For business loans with no personal guarantee, They look at your business income and tax file. I'm sure they look at it all. I understand that they're going to look at all those financials, right? But the main thing is this: when they run your credit and see you have money for years, you've been working for, say like you've been working for 10 years, money in the bank, no debt, none, zero. And then you walk in and say, hey, I need a business loan. They're going to clearly see that you've taken very good care of the business of yourself, obviously, because millions of people don't do that. Millions of people don't walk around at age, say like you've been starting to work at 20 and you decide you want to start a business at 30, right? Millions of people don't go from 20 to 30 with no debt. They don't do that. They got credit cards, they're financing cell phones, they're doing all that stuff. They're not walking in the bank with cash say like this too. Say like before you left the house, before you left home, you saved up enough money to either get a house or a large down payment on a house. And say like you paid off your house before you even started a business. So imagine you walking into a bank, no debt, money in the bank with a paid off house. They're not going to turn you down. That house is a guaranteed. That house is a 100% guarantee. Hey, yeah, I did it, but I got a paid off house and no debt. They're going to be like, oh, okay. What you need? Okay. No, I'd rather stack trust. I don't loan for, I don't. Yeah. And you know what? And this is another thing about a house. You don't ever let people feel like you have to get a house. Okay. You don't have to get a house. Some people don't want a house. Some people don't want that type of responsibility. Some people like moving around and getting up and leave because you can't just leave a house. You have to, there's certain steps you have to do but if you're renting, you just ride out the lease and leave. That's it. What's up, NC Worker? I want to make sure I lead by example. Now, I want you guys know me by now. I'm not going to let anybody just run all over me. I don't care where I'm at on the panel and anything, but there's different ways to handle that. Okay. And how to handle that, just use the calculator. I'm just going to open up the calculator app and just use the calculator. I don't have to curse. I don't have to get mad. I don't have to do anything. I just say, open up the calculator. Oh, I don't want to hear about well, okay, then you don't want to hear about the calculator. I guess that's that. I don't know what else to tell you. But my frustration from yesterday has nothing to do with anybody outside of me. It was me. Okay. I was frustrated about some other things, it just happens. Okay. I don't know that part I can't really explain. Some days are just like that. Okay. Those are the days I don't need to talk to nobody. I need to chill, turn on the TV and watch a movie. That's what I need to do. And I do that a lot. You guys, I don't bring my frustrations out on when I'm on camera. I don't do that, right? But yesterday I did. Okay, I was bothered. And then when you guys start your own journey, I want you guys to be able to use me as an example of what not to do when that frustration hits you, because it will. Some days are just bad. Not bad, or just frustrating. That's it, just frustrating. Those are the days that from now on, I will, since it's sunny damn near every day here in South Carolina, I'm just going to go take a walk. I'm going to just go take a walk. If I have a live schedule for that day, I'll just cancel it, because I cannot do that. I have younger viewers watching this channel, and I don't want them thinking I don't want parents thinking that they have to be careful when they have their kids watch S&D. I don't, it's got to be a certain age because, like I said, every now and then I'll say a curse word, but not to that extent. Okay. Because this has been a very shit, how long I've been doing this now? I quit my job in 2016. I started, I think, right shortly after. No, I started doing things on Facebook at first, and I started realizing Facebook was more uh, compartmentalized. It's like a box, right? You only your friends, people, like-minded people, uh, start, communicating. I said, you know what, I got to reach to a bigger audience. And what's the biggest stage on the internet? YouTube is the largest stage on the internet. That when I say the largest stage, you don't have to be a member. You don't have to join anything. You could just go to YouTube and watch and click play. Okay. What stream are you talking about? Yesterday. Yesterday. Now, a lot of S&D family members, they probably didn't notice that. I mean, I'm sure they did, but they probably said, "Oh, it's not really a big deal." It was a big deal to me. Okay. Uh, it's not. I don't think it's anything like dramatic, but it's dramatic to me. To where if some members had to reach out to me, it was dramatic. Okay, to me. What's up, Fred? What's happening? Yeah, this is yesterday's thing, Cosmic. You were on there yesterday. I wasn't doing it a lot. I just did it a couple times, right? But I just can't do that. Okay. I remember my sister was financing her house in California, came down here going through nice neighborhoods, looking at other houses like she really had money. It's just people do that all the time. And I get the programming. I get that the economy could not run without slaves. We need slaves. We need slaves to finance cell phones, cars. We need them to believe that they can't buy a house without a mortgage. We need them to believe that they cannot get a car without financing it. Clothes, credit cards, whatever. Which say never bought the house because she got a divorce. Can you imagine how many people? Imagine this, and this is what two slaves get together, get married, they combine their debt because they think, oh, yeah, we can combine our finances and get a bigger house. Well, you're also combining debt, but they don't know that. And then they get together. They don't spend any time with each other because they bought more house than they could afford. Now they're working 40 plus hours a week at their job. How you expect to keep a marriage together working apart from each other? You can't. And then they get a divorce and then they lose all that money that they put into the house. Now they got even more debt than what they started with. I have a thicker skin than most, but I agree building a business ain't sexy. It can be tough. It can be a tough journey that will test you. Keep going, LJ. Learn and tweak. Yeah, you know what, and if, that's why Cosmic. That's why you probably didn't notice. You're probably like, what is it? What did they talk about? What did LJ do? I get it, but I have to remember the younger generation watches this, and when you have children, it's like this. It's like, have you ever noticed this? Like, for example, say like as an adult, you're watching a movie, right? And they got a lot of cussing and killing in it, and you're not really thinking about it. You're just like this. Uh-huh. But then if you sit your kid next to you, like say like you have an 8-year-old child, and then you're watching the movie, the movie's totally different. You're like, oh, damn, I didn't know they said that. They chopped off the movie's totally different. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. And see, she thinks she's smarter than me and still in debt to this day, but drives it better. So crazy. And you got to just, You got to just be quiet. You can't even say anything. You got to just let them do it. Debt doesn't care who it is. It's the colorblind slave master. It doesn't care if it's your sister, your mama, your child. It doesn't care because all it sees is green. All it sees is green. Are they a slave? Yeah, they make money. And even if it's your family member, if it's somebody you love, you guys gotta understand. It's part of the system. You have to just accept it. You got to just watch them do what they do. You got to watch them. You got to watch them bury themselves in debt. And hopefully one day, if you keep doing what you do, they'll see you're not stressed. They'll see you're not always talking about debt. You're always happy. They're going to naturally gravitate towards that energy of that positive energy towards you. They're going to naturally gravitate towards that. They're going to be like, why is this person? Why is my sister, my brother? They're not ever stressed. They don't have bill collectors calling their phone all the time. Have you ever been around a person that says their cell phone will ring and they'll look at it and say, oh, I'm not answering that. It's probably a bill collector. And you said that out loud? They don't know saying, I'm not answering that because it's a bill collector. They don't know that that's not normal. They don't know that only slaves run from bill collectors. Look at a bill collector as like, remember in the movies where if a slave ran off the plantation and then they send the people, they always do the same scene. They're in the woods. They got torches. They got hound dogs. It's the same scene over and over again for years and years, right? It's the same thing. When you borrow their money and then you run, just imagine that's what they want their money. You can't just borrow it and run. You got to pay it back. Exactly. Learn just to shut up. You just got to say, hey, it is what it is. The economy couldn't run without slaves. Slaves don't know that they are key to this economy. None of this would work without slaves. None of it. You got to just accept that. It's very difficult when it's somebody you love. When you see somebody you love that's a slave, that's very frustrating. That's very frustrating. Or here, I'll give you another frustration. Like when you see other channels being successful and they're spitting garbage, you just got to say, hey, it is what it is. It has to, even other channels that you see them spitting financial nonsense, right? I know this is weird. Even channels like that are important to the economy. They're important. Don't think a channel is good by the amount of subscribers they have. That's the amount of people that are lost. If you go to a chat, say like you go to a channel, you see they have 1 million subscribers, and then you go on as an S&D member, you go to watch, and you clearly see everything they're saying makes no mathematical sense, and you see 1 million subscribers, that's how many people that are lost. They don't know that. That's why they're subscribed to the channel. I wouldn't subscribe to a channel that makes no mathematical sense, but millions of people will because they're lost. They're looking for answers. They don't know where to go. They don't know they're slaves. First, you have to know you're a slave to understand it all. But if you don't know you're a slave, that means you don't own yourself. If you don't own yourself, they're going to take advantage of you because you don't own yourself. What's up, reigning woman? What's up, Enigma? 64-year-old neighbor on a fixed income just financed a new car for 6 years at $530 a month. You know how hard that would be to listen to? Now, if that was my neighbor, right? And they said that, this is what I would do if a neighbor said, hey man, I just did what Enigma just said, right? You know what I would say? That's a nice car. Can I look at it? Can I check it out? Yeah, let me look at it. Oh, wow, that's nice. That's exactly what I would say. If they didn't know what I did or who I was, I would say, wow, that's a nice car. Ooh, it got that new car smell. Wow, that's nice. And then you got to walk away. Two of the biggest slave concentration camps in the USA, New York and Canada, or California, excuse me, California. Yeah, Homies are gang. Homies are here, gang. Say what's like? Yeah, you know what? When I go to California, because a lot of my family live in California. Every time I go visit, right? It's different when you're free versus when you're a slave. Because if you go to California, you'll think a lot of people there got money because everybody's driving nice cars, houses are high, and it seems like everybody's driving a Tesla, but they're financing them. That's an illusion. And California is taking advantage of the illusion. That's all there is. That's all they're doing. They're taking advantage of people that don't understand how it works. Oh, things are expensive here. For who? Who are you talking to? Debt-free people or people that are debt-free people or people that are in debt? Because when you come across somebody that says, whenever you hear somebody say, oh, the taxes are high here. First of all, when you're not in debt, when you have no debt, taxes are not high. Taxes are not high. They're not. But when you hear people say that, you got to look at the person. You got to listen to the word, who it's coming from. Taxes are high to who? You? They're expensive to what? You? What's that? Do you got student loan debt? Yeah. How long you got your student loans? 20 years? That's why taxes are high for you, because you have 20-year-old student loans. Cupcake says, if he calls me, I'm going to tell him to buy a used car in cash or wait till he can buy a car with. Oh, you're talking about something else. Oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Okay. My nephew just paid off his car. He wants a Polaris, and my stupid sister doesn't mind seeing him at the debt because she wants him to drive a new car. What's a Polaris? Ain't that a water vehicle? Ain't that some kind of Sea-Doo or something? And please don't tell me he's thinking about financing a Sea-Doo or something like that. Polaris, is a Polaris a car? I'm not sure what that is. I thought that was a Sea-Doo or something. What's up, Robert? Cupcake says, I really try to get the message out to the youth because you can't teach some old dogs nutrition. Yeah, you can't. And at the same time, like I always say, it must be this way. It has to. I don't want the system to change, because the wonderful thing about our economy, and remember, somebody designed this. It's all by choice. You either choose, the system is just there. It's just there. It doesn't, it only favors those who trust mathematics. If you trust math, the system is for you. The economy is for you. If you don't trust math, it's against you. If you trust your calculator, you're good. If you don't trust your calculator, that's bad. And if you guys want, here's something that I wanted to, when I was first getting out of debt, I didn't say to myself, ooh, I'm gonna start a financial channel and I'm gonna help other people get out of debt, right? That didn't happen, right? The only thing I can say is this: once I owned myself and I was free, these things started coming to me naturally. This is just what I wanted to do. I just wanted to naturally help other people become free. So I always tell people this: when I first started going on YouTube, I had to leave Facebook because that's just a total way. Facebook to me now is a good place to advertise for your business. Nothing else. No, you don't need to put up personal stuff up there. Just advertise. That's where you sell stuff, right? But when I first started this YouTube channel, when I was going live, I was talking to myself for a year. Nobody would stop. Nobody would sit here and, they would come on. Oh, this is bull crap. And then they would leave, whatever. I just didn't care. I just kept talking and talking and talking and talking until it finally started getting traction. This journey has been, sometimes even in my relationship, I would get very frustrated and I would end up taking it out on my girlfriend, just snapping, stuff like that, right? I had to check that. No different than this channel. Sometimes it just happens, right? It just happens sometimes, but I have to make sure it's checked, because the more SMD grows and the bigger it gets, I cannot do that. And I rarely do it, but when I do it, I have to take accountable. I have to be accountable for it. You know what I mean? It's that three-wheeler. Oh, that motorcycle thing? Not a slingshot. You talking about a slingshot, Enigma? Man, if you're financing a slingshot, if you're financing like a motorcycle or a slingshot, or one of them three-wheel motorcycles with two wheels in the front, one wheel in the back. Anyway, today's show was not about a particular topic. It's more about me, and to the SMD family, to the parents that let SMD, to the parents that let their children watch the SMD channel. I want to make sure I assure you that kind of behavior will be checked. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not going to use any curse words. I am not saying that. Okay, I'm saying just not like yesterday. All right, just not like that. What's up, Gabriel? Oh, gotcha. Oh, I didn't see. I see, I live in a vacation city. I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, right? So I see those slingshots all over the place. I mean, down here, you guys don't really get it. I don't know if you guys see this. They got lights in them, big ass stereo systems. I mean, blowing to where sometimes they're so loud, I got to roll up my window because the music is so damn loud. Now, I don't know if I'm just getting old because of that, but sometimes it's just ridiculous, right? And the first thing I said, now some of them they're cool to look at it, but I'm saying to myself, I hope you're not making payments on that thing. I just hope you're not making payments. Please don't be making payments on a slingshot. Right. I know tomorrow, I'm not sure what time, but Ramil, I'm supposed to be doing a live tomorrow with Ramil. And I'm not sure of the time, but I'll make sure I let you guys know well ahead of time. I like doing podcasts with Ramil. It's cool. Those slingshot drivers get on my nerves with those bullet tweeter speakers piercing my eardrums. Damn, Slade, keep it. I know they do be piercing, man. They drop some bread in these dang slingshots, man. But they are not. I don't know. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. Shout out to NYC for a $4.99 super chat. Keep pushing, Uncle LJ. Glad I didn't buy a house. Currently going through a separation after 11 years. I get it. Been there, done that. Stay strong. When I think about this way, and this is what I want, especially you younger adults that are just coming into the world, probably just graduating from college. Let me tell you something. And a lot of people don't really understand, this is more like in a dating minus debt. And this is what I picture when I start getting on panels. So you guys will know, it'll be geared towards like the dating minus debt, because the dating minus debt world I can go in like a Trojan horse inside of this high value stuff, people or whatever, right? When you're young and you stay out of debt, I promise you will never date anybody that's a slave. You will never take them serious. You definitely won't procreate with a slave. You won't do that. You won't biologically tie yourself to a slave. You most definitely will never legally tie yourself to a slave. That will never happen. You will never be with somebody that does not own themselves. If they don't own themselves, it's just a waste of time. And especially like in the younger generation, sex is really pushed, especially when you're a young man. You think you grow up, you're taught that you're supposed to just get as much sex as you can from a woman. That's just what you do. It is what it is. No, it's not. That's none of that is true. I promise you, you will, as a young man, this goes for women and men, but I'm just a man because I can give you the man perspective, right? You will never forget the condom, because you know if you're having sex with a person that you know is a slave, you will never accidentally forget protection. That will never happen. You probably won't even have sex with them because you won't even want to take that chance. You don't want to be in court with a slave. You don't want to be in court having a person in a robe that you're looking up to, because you've noticed when you go into the judges are always higher up on the desk. So you're standing down below and you're at the fucking, excuse, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I said that word because I've been in that court situation. And the reason why it came out like that, because I remember being in court saying to myself, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm paying this lawyer thousands of dollars, and in the courtroom, I got to shut up and let this person speak. And had I not been in debt, I would have never been in court. I wouldn't have had children by other slaves. And I'm not saying anything negative about the mothers. I have 2 babies' mom. I have 3 kids, 2 babies' mom. I wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for me. It was my fault. It's not their fault. It was my fault. I didn't know any better. I didn't know that. When you're young and you're debt free, you won't be in court like me. You won't be part of the divorce statistics because you won't be part. You're going to eliminate. Listen, you're going to eliminate 99% of your relationship problems if you own yourself first and you never date slaves ever. You don't date them. You can. I'm not saying not have sex with slaves. You can have sex with slaves, but you will always use protection. You will always be clear that to the slave, that say like you decide to have a physical relationship with a slave, right? You are always going to be 100% honest with them. You would say, hey, by the way, I just want to let you know up front before we even have sex, nothing is going to come out of this relationship. It's not going to grow. It's not going to turn into something. We're not going to have children. They're going to say, why? You're going to say, because you have $200,000, $100,000, $50,000 of student loan debt, and you're calling it a forever loan. So that means you're telling me that you're going to be a forever slave. And I want you to understand that I don't date slaves. Now, you will probably clean it up and make it sound a little bit better, but it's irrelevant because it doesn't matter how they feel about it. So if you want to continue this, we can, but let you know, I'm not only going to see you, I'm going to see other people. We're not together. I'm not going to be calling you saying, where you at? Who are you on a date with? I won't ever do that. That will never happen, ever. They will never have ever run into a person like you. Because if I could go back, I love my children. Don't get me wrong. I love my boys. They're adults now. They're not children, but they're adults, right? If I had this knowledge when I was younger, they probably wouldn't be here. Because I had my first kid at 22 years old. I had no business having a kid at 22. No business. None. Zero business. I remember I had my last son at 25. At 25, he was born, right? And I remember I was married at that particular time. And I remember my wife saying at the time, oh yeah, by the way, LJ, if I get pregnant, I'm keeping it. You know what I said? I'm going to the doctor. She said, why? I'm going to get cut. I don't want no more kids. At least, thank God I was smart enough to do that. Thank God. I was like, man, I got to get, and I remember, and I was under 30. I went and got that done about age 27, 28. And I remember the doctor saying, are you sure you want to do this? I was like, yep, I got 3 boys. I don't want no more kids. So don't get NYC, do your thing, man. Go through it. You got to go through all the stuff that the emotional, the financial, the lawyers. Soak it all in. Make sure how to make sure it never happens again. I mean, not 100%, but 90% of it, 95% of it, as long as you don't date slaves, you won't be going through all this stuff that you guys see on channels, looking for a high value person. Maybe because if they're a doctor or a lawyer, they went to this college. The slaves are looking for the answer. They don't know the answers right in the credit report. All you got to do is look at the person's credit report. You don't have to go any further than the credit report. You just look at it. If they're a slave, they're a slave. And you know what? Put it this way, NYC, because when I first got divorced, I said, never again. What I really meant was, I'm never again dating slaves. The woman I'm with today, she's not a slave. How do I know this? I asked to see her personal credit report. She said, I had never had anybody ask me to see my personal credit report. I said, I know. She said, I remember I saying, I was kind of hinted around because she wasn't saying slave conversations. When you talk to somebody, you go out on a date, you can hear them talk slave. They don't know they're speaking slave. They don't know that, right? So, but I wasn't hearing it, but I still didn't believe her. She was debt free. I said, hey, you know what? I just got frustrated. I was like, okay, I got to see your personal credit report. And once I saw it, she had no debt. I was like, you are like a unicorn. You're a unicorn. What's up, Walt? How you doing, sir? No, it wasn't. It's not painful at all. You think that, because every man's going to think that. No, you don't feel anything. And your insurance will pay for it. Okay, your insurance will pay for it. Brandon Woman said, I won't ever care about where you're at or who you're with. Y'all, yeah, exactly. I won't care. I won't say, hey, check this out. And I know it seems weird. And even a person will think it's weird. You say like this, I won't care about when your phone rings. If you say, hey, I got to take this call somewhere. Hey, I'll be like, hey, do your thing. Let's go ahead. Take as long. Hey, do that. I won't look at your phone and say, who's calling you? That's none of my. If your phone's ringing, it's obviously not for me. Why would I look at your phone? That's how I would say it. I wouldn't. But in return, you don't worry about what's going on my phone. Don't do that. Cosmic says, I would think by now people wouldn't have so many kids with debt. I was wrong. Talked to a dude with 5 kids at 33 with $42,000. And one thing I love about Cosmic didn't grow. She had, her dad, she came on the show with her dad. Her dad raised her like this, right? So when I say certain things, Cosmic will reach out to me and say, hey, LJ, that's, that Cosmic, I'm not talking to you. I always have to tell Cosmic, I'm not talking to you. Oh, that's why. She's like, I wouldn't think yeah, they do. They have a lot of kids and they don't even know that. They don't know the ramifications of that. Thank God I never let myself get behind on child support. I just never did that. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I remember this one time, man, let me tell you guys. I'm going to tell you this one time I was in court, okay? I'm in child support court. This is so embarrassing too. It's so embarrassing. Anyway, when you go to court, and I suggest once things start rolling again, I suggest this. Parents, I strongly suggest you take your kids into a child support court session and just sit in the back. Just make them listen, right? Because in Seattle, Washington, like when you go to court for child support cases, right? There's a whole bunch of people in the back sitting, waiting for their turns, right? And they could be person that are up next, or they could just be a bystander sitting there. It don't matter, right? But they listen, right? So I'm sitting in the court waiting for my turn. There's this guy that comes up and with the baby's mom or whatever, right? And he was up there because he wasn't paying his child support or something. And he was complaining about, hey, Judge, I don't have $75 a week or something. I ain't working or whatever, right? I'm like, damn, $75 a week and you just frustrated about it? Now, I'm not knocking him why he couldn't pay or whatever, right? So then it's my turn. Hey, Mr. Young, you come up, and we come up, and she comes up with her lawyer. I come up with my lawyer. And because every 2 years, the Washington State sends out these notices. They solicit this. Oh man, it's this business. I get it, it's business, right? Every 2 years they reevaluate your money. So every time I would get more jobs, it was for more money. So I come up, we run through the financials, and her lawyer was very dramatic for some reason. I don't. Maybe it was her job. Like her lawyer would respond like she knew me personally, right? Anyway, when it was done, now I'm making 100 plus. So for one kid, I was paying $1,100 a month. Plus I had to provide insurance. And you know how there's 20% left over that you have to pay out of pocket for medical expenses? I was responsible for 75% of the 20% on top of that, right? So the judge slams the gavel, $1,100 a month. You hear everybody in the background, ooh, like I was at some kind of stadium or something. I was like $1,100 a month, ooh, and I turned around like this. I was like, what the? And then as I'm walking off, everybody's looking at me like, damn, how much money you make? I was like, I thought to myself, parents need to bring their kids to listen to one of these sessions, because when you hear the two people bickering, I didn't bicker in court. I didn't do that. I just kept quiet. Let my lawyer do the talking. Don't bring your feelings to court. That's what you do not do. You do not bring your feelings to court. But the majority of people bring their feelings to court. Start talking like they're on the streets. You're not on the streets. You're in court. The judge is not personally involved in your problems. They're not. They're there to do a job. And since you guys can't handle the job, the state is going to handle it for you, and you're going to pay for it. That's business. Bring your kids to a child support session in your state if you can, and make them sit there, especially when they get to that age to where they're in love and they think they're going to be with this person forever. Bring them to court to see what's going to happen if you don't use protection. This is where you'll be for the next 18 to 20 years. Paying lawyers, going through back and forth with all this stupid paperwork. You don't want that. You don't want to be in there. You don't want it. Poindexter says, when my dad had 3 children, he had the snip too. Hey man, get it done. Get that done. Get it done. NYC slaves are labeled SH slaves, not just slaves. What's that mean? I don't get it. Oh, shout out to NYC for the $1.99 super chat. Yep, speaking slavery. You guys be killing me with these names, man. I don't know if you guys were in that one session, man. You guys were, what was that dude? He said, you guys were adding slaves to their names. I was dying laughing. I was cracking up. You guys are killing me. Slaves. Oh, okay. I read that one already. Well, it's a life that you can change. You don't have to be and trust me, now that I'm out, I'm debt free and I'm out of the system like that, the child support system, I get why they do that. It's a business. They're not collecting that money for free. They get paid collecting that money. It was horrible, man. It's horrible having to list all your stuff on this piece of paper and submit it to the lawyers, and the lawyers submit it to the court. Your whole life is on. Oh, it's just so and I don't blame the system. I don't blame the state. It was my fault. It was my fault. My fault. Make sure the slave knows that our time together is our, not we, or us. We are not a couple. Exactly. Can you imagine this? Imagine a woman with SMD knowledge out there enjoying herself, right? Because society makes it seem like a woman can't have multiple sexual partners. That's what society. But when you're free and you're practicing safe sex and you're doing, you won't care, especially if they're slaves. She won't. Can you imagine? Like a man, you're with this particular, like a regular dude's with an SMD woman, they're having sex, he's tearing it up, He think he did a good job. Probably did do a good job, but doesn't realize it doesn't change anything, especially if she knows the dude is the slave. It doesn't change anything. She probably wake up, oh, that was good. I'm about to get on out of here. You about to leave? Yeah, I'm about to leave. I thought we would talk. Talk about what? What about what? There's nothing to talk about. I told you from the beginning. It's not going to be anything more than that. Oh man, I gotta take this call. Hey, go ahead and take that call. Go ahead. You don't have to be in the same room with me. I'll wait in here. It doesn't matter. Let me know when you're done. That would, oh man. Fred says, I know some people who want me to have kids just for the hell of it. Like it's some kind of fad. I want to ask them, do I look like a sucker? Exactly. People just, when I was younger, they always say, hey, there's never a good time when to have children. When you own yourself, that's the only time you're probably ready. If you're ready, when you own yourself and you get with the person that also owns themselves, and then you guys understand the same, then I say it's time. But before that, you don't have kids by slaves. You don't do that. Shout out to John for the $2 super chat. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. I appreciate you guys all. That's why I appreciate all of you guys. That's why I come on here, because I don't want you guys to think that I'm invincible, that I don't make mistakes. I want to make sure you guys understand that when you guys buy the SMD shirts, that you can wear it proudly. You're not going to, I'm not going to come up here and just do stupid stuff and say stupid things. I want you guys to really understand that. What's up, Wayman? What's going on? 37, no kids, LJ. I'm jealous. People I grew up with ask, when are you going to have kids? It's almost like they want me to deal with the drama more than actually being successful as leading a family. And so crazy, Wayman, I remember when I had 3 children. And I remember seeing other guys my age with no children. Deep inside, I used to be jealous because they didn't have to deal with the stuff I had to deal with. And it's my fault. But you can't say that out loud. You can't say, damn, man, you are just kid free. Those people that they want you to jump in the same boat as them. They just don't. Just say, no, I don't want kids. It's okay to say, I don't want children. Because people will try to make you feel bad about not wanting children. That you don't have to make nobody feel. If you want kids, have kids, but don't make me feel bad if I don't want kids. It's crazy, man. Stop. Hey, Cosmic, you got to remember, they can't hear me. They can't hear me. When you guys know the SMD family, when we talk about money and finances and being debt free, you think slaves can hear me? They can't hear me. They don't have a word. They don't know a word I'm saying. Oh man, debt is just part of life. Everybody, then they start mixing light bills with the car payments. Oh, you're always going to have debt. How you going to eat? I'm not talking about things to keep me alive, slave. You think which one am I going to pick? Food or a car payment? Which one do you think I'm going to pick? Food or a car payment? I'm going to pick food. You watch my words, you guys. Watch S&D family. Dating minus debt is going to take off on. That's what's going to catapult me on panels, because you got to remember, I have to integrate. This is what I got to do. I got to integrate the SMD philosophy into the mass world somehow. Dating minus debt is going to be that Trojan horse to get me in there, because there are many people. That's why these relationship channels are so popular. Those are all the people that are lost. They don't know the answer. How do I pick the right partner? They think it has something to do with their color, the country. Sometimes I'll go in there and sometimes I'll do this. I don't really tell you guys, but sometimes I'll go into these relationship channels to listen, to see what other people think the answer is. You'll hear people say, you need to go to another country. Like, are they not human in another country or something? What do you think is there that's different than here? All the American women here or the American men here, that has nothing to do with anything. That has nothing to do with nothing. Nothing. Are they a slave? Yes, it doesn't matter what country the slave lives in. It doesn't matter. Dating is so hard. I told a man that like me, I would get a nice used car with cash, and he replied that he would like somebody like me because he could never get a new car. Nope. He would like somebody like you because you can afford a new. Slaves, they don't know. They tell on themselves. They don't know that. They don't know. They tell on themselves. He went directly into slave explain. He sure did, Sal. You're right about that. Gabriel said that's why I never have a relationship with a slave long term. You don't have a relationship with a slave at all. You can be friends with slaves. Now don't get me wrong. You can be friends with slaves, but you can understand when you guys get closer. This is what people don't really understand, especially guys and girls. It doesn't matter, right? You don't have to be a player. You don't have to lie. You know how free your life would be if you just be straight up honest with everybody that you come into a relationship with. Because once people have sex, things start mixing. This is what you do when you're free. You make sure it's known up front before you have sex, because people change after having sex if it's good. But if you be straight up, especially from men to women, by the way, woman who's a slave, if we have sex, it's not, I don't want you going to your girlfriend calling me a dog and say he just wanted the coochie and this and that. No, you want that conversation to, when she goes, say like you have sex and it wasn't good and you guys just stop. When she goes to her girlfriend, girl, he just wanted to do you and this and that. What did he say? Well, girl, he did tell me before we had sex, he said it wasn't going to be anything. Wait a minute, girl, he told you that? He told you that before you had sex? Yeah, he said before we have sex, he told me that this relationship is not going to go any further. Why did he say that? Because I had student loan debt and I called it a forever loan. And he said he wasn't gonna, he meant that meant I was going to be a forever slave. Girl, he called you a slave? Well, yeah, it's not a slave like that, but a slave to debt. And he said you're going to be a forever slave. That's why. You don't have to be a player. You don't have to hide your phone. And every time it rings, you can leave it in the same room with the person. If it rings, it just rings. If they say, hey, who's that on your phone? That's none of your business. That's none of your business who that person is on the phone. Did their name and their picture pop up? You already know who it was. You saw it, right? It was Candy, and that's her picture. I heard Brazil's nice, but I want you guys to understand something though. Don't think the women in Brazil are somehow different than the women here. That maybe culturally or whatever. Of course, there's going to be some differences, but a human being is a human being. They can be from any country. It doesn't matter. NYC says that's going to be interesting, LJ. Certain content creators are going to have to give you a yes, they are. Now the podcast that invited me to come on, of course, they're not paying me. They're not going to pay me. This is the one exception, because I'm gonna physically be there. I'm not just going to be on the thing, not through the internet. I'm gonna physically be there. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I wasn't clear with that. I'm going to physically go on this podcast, right? Physically. When I go physically, you're going to have to pay me to go physically onto a podcast because I got to spend money to get there. It's not even in the same state as me. I have to fly to this place, okay? That's what I didn't let you guys know. I have to fly to the podcast and be there. So that means I got to buy a plane ticket, get a hotel room for a couple days or a few days or whatever, how long I'm going to be there, right? To be on the podcast. So once it's set in stone, then I'm going to let you guys know. But if it doesn't come out, I'm not going to even mention it again. If you guys don't hear me talk about it anymore, and it's not going to be till next month. It's not this month, next month. Because we're talking about, Walgo says, the woman who you want isn't out of the country. She's less than 30 minutes away, especially in a big city like Atlanta. We at max thought capacity. See, that's okay. When I hear words like thought and stuff like, you got to remember, Those are words made up. Mostly slaves make up words like that. It has nothing. Is the person a slave? Don't worry about if the woman's a thought or whatever, right? Is the person a slave? And do they own themselves? If they don't own themselves, it doesn't matter. I know guys, put it this way, okay? I know guys don't believe me. Especially if you never owned yourself. Once you own yourself, it won't matter how the woman looks. She could be the finest thing that you've ever seen walking on earth with the baddest body. She looked good. But if she has $100,000 in student loan debt, I will look at her and say, hey, we're never going to be more than this. Of course, she's not going to believe it because there are many men after her. So she's not going to believe you. Oh, I'm going to whip it on him and then he'll change his mind. No, you won't. You won't. I strongly suggest that we do not have sex if you think something's going to happen more than what it is today. You called your student loans a forever loan. That means you're going to be a forever slave. I don't date slaves. I don't. What's up, Ken? How you been, man? You guys know the scout, man. We'll get up here and start talking forever. Cupcake says the women and men in these other countries are younger and better looking slaves like that. And prostitution is cheaper in other countries. I know. See? Oh, what's up, Mike? What's happening, man? Hold on, you guys. I'm coming over cold. I got to blow my nose real quick. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Calling a black woman a slave is Russian roulette. You know, it's like, but okay, when I say slave like this, okay. Say like I was single now, and I came across a woman that was good looking. Now remember, you got to remember the language of zero. Slaves can't hear it. They don't know. You guys got to remember, they don't know debt-free exists. So that means they don't know the language of debt-free exists. So when you start dating, people try to put on their first impression by impressing you with stuff, where they work, how much they make, where they live, what kind of car they drive. And so they, especially men, as soon as you hear car payment, you already know that's strike one. You're financing something that's going down in value. That's strike number one. You don't date nobody finance cars. That's strike number one. Because if they're making car payments, and then the first thing you got to look is their phone. Do they got the latest iPhone? And this is how you check. Hey, if they got the latest, say like they have the latest iPhone Pro Max something, right? If you go look that up on Apple, that thing's like $1,600. All right. You ask them, hey, is that the new iPhone? They'd probably say yes. You say, how much was that? And if they say, well, I don't know, that means they financed it, because I guarantee you this. If you paid cash for a brand new iPhone, you're going to know exactly. You're going to tell that person $1,700 because you're going to include the tax. $1,700. You're not going to forget how much that phone cost. But if they say, I don't know, that means they financed it, which means that's why they're financing the car. Because if you got a finance cell phone, of course you're making car payments because you're making phone payments. It all connects. It all connects. And I'm not going to call a woman, I wouldn't call her a slave to her face. But if you date, you're not talking about being together when you're first dating. Hey, we could be this and that. You're just going to listen to them. And don't get me wrong, the person might be great to go out with and have fun with. And then when it starts naturally progressing and then they start talking like that, you go like, oh, hey, I thought we could be, more. No. Well, why not? Well, you got student loan debt. I remember you mentioning, I remember one time we were sitting in the living room watching TV, and then the Biden came on TV talking about forgiving student loan debt, and you got really amped up. You were like, "Ooh, I sure hope they forgive student loan debt." I said, that means you have student loan debt. What do you mean? Because people that don't have student loan debt, they don't care about what Biden's going to do about student loan debt because that's none of our business. But that means you do have student loan debt, When do you plan on paying that off? Well, everybody, all my friends say, man, you just do that, and you just keep it forever, and it just is what it is. No, it's not. Only slaves think like that. Only slaves go to college for 4 years and pay on their student loans for the rest of their life. Only slaves do that. So that's why we can never be more than what we are. Are you planning on, you got a plan on paying off your student loan debt? No, then we can't be together. I don't care what color you are. I don't care. I don't want you guys getting caught up. Hey, listen, when you get out of debt, you're not going to get caught up on somebody's color. You like what you like, period. You like what you like. Slaves are green to me. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what kind of body they got. You're green. You remember the green woman on Star Trek? Same thing. I don't know. For you Trekkie fans, you guys know. I'm a nerd like that. Gabriel says, what's your thought, LJ, about Dr. Dre has to pay $3 million to his ex-wife? Let me tell you something about that, too. And I heard it was $300,000 a month or something like that. I don't get involved in trillionaires' business. Because you got to understand, everybody, these channels talk about shit like that because that kind of money, $300,000, that's like $300 to Dr. Dre. That ain't no money. That's nothing to Dr. Dre. Oh, Dr. Dre is a simp and this and that. You talking about the billionaire, the billionaire Dr. Dre? Is that who you talking about? Yeah, I don't know what he's doing or what that's no money to him. That's nothing. You got most people that will never see $1 million in their life, let alone $1 billion. Dr. Dre is rich. He's wealthy. That's no money. That's probably irritating to him that he has to pay that, but that's nothing to him. That's nothing. That's $300 to Dr. Dre. I called my friends because I found out his last name is Young. I was like, hey man, are we related to Dr. Dre? They were like, nah, man, we ain't related. I was like, damn, okay. Only 1% of the people who have student loans are paying them. 2/3 of them is Black women. See, you guys don't know. Mike is in the banking industry, so he sees it firsthand. What you guys really don't understand, if you're new to the channel, student loans is how they make slaves. That's why they don't care. Listen, that's why they don't care what you. They don't care if you go to school for underwater basket weaving or go to school, stop going to school. They don't care because you got to pay back every penny. You can get that money invested in whatever you want to invest it in, buy your friends stuff, Christmas time, whatever, because you got to pay back every penny with interest. Oh, slaves. You drawing back in like the mob, brother LJ. Haha, you drawing back in like the mob. What are you talking about? I must have said something. I'm sorry, man. Sometimes I'll be rambling on and forget. Cupcakes. I'm a whip it on you, LJ. You no, you ain't. That's it. You know what? And that's how people think, though. A lot of these people, women and men, they think, oh, I'm gonna whip it on them and it changes mind. I promise you this. I promise you this. Once you do what it takes to get out of debt and own yourself, no. The person I am today, I would tell a woman straight up, before we have sex, I want to let you know it's not going to go anywhere else than this. Why? You got student loans. You're talking about them like it's a pet. You're talking about your student loans like they I don't get it. And even when I think about it even more, think about this is how deep it goes when you own yourself. Okay. Because the condom boxes, they don't say this protection works 100%. They're not saying that. They can't guarantee that. So listen, this is how deep it is. I'm a base my entire future on this little piece of rubber that could possibly break, have a hole in it. I'm really going to gamble that? Man, I don't know, man. It really makes you think. Facts. Oh, whoops. I didn't read that. Mike said, financing is an F word. I don't allow it in my presence. Right. Pointer says, facts. When I had to replace a transmission for my V-Dub, I paid $5,000. I remember that. But you know what? When you have no debt, hey, man, car repairs are just car repairs, man. I'm not going to do it. If something major like that happens to my truck and my tranny goes out, my tranny went out a few years back. It was about $3,000. I don't care. Fix it, man. I ain't got no payments. Fix it. You guys do good work here? Yeah, fix it. Call me when it's done. And the first thing I always say when they quote me a price, this is what I always do. They quote me a price. I say, oh, okay. Is it the same price with cash? They're 9 times out of 10, their eyes will light up and say, what? Because nobody's walking in paying cash for fixing cars. They always pulling out the credit card, right? Not many people, not always. But you say you're paying cash, you always seem to get a reduction in price. I promise you that. Nothing that's what Biden is going to do about they're not changing that. They just trick you guys. The slaves give you guys hope on something that's never going to happen. Dr. Dre, the billionaire simp. Boy, slaves be talking about the wrong people. You talking about the billionaire? Are you calling Dr. Dre a simp? The billionaire Dr. Dre? Really? Yeah. Okay. Whatever. You'll never see me get caught up in that stupid nonsense. In 20 years of paying $3.5 million a year, Dre would be under 100. In 20 years, he'll be under. And you got to remember, you guys, you don't know, unless you talk to Dr. Dre yourself, you don't know anything that you're reading is true. You have no idea if any of that is true, any of it. Because I've had people bring up Dr. Dre. You know what I say? I haven't talked to him. I don't know. You got his number? Obviously, you've talked to him. Can I get his number so I can call him? Oh, you don't have, then where'd you get your information? Google? Oh, a YouTube channel? Oh, okay. All right. People are playing that women have it easy. See, that women, men crap. So it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's dumb. What's up, Frenchelle? Can you elaborate more on when you say when you buy your home, you will put it in your business name? Thank you. I say like this. You get a lawyer. You walk into the lawyer's office that's specifically to, real estate stuff. And you say, hey, somebody told me that it's a smart idea to put my home under my business and then I'll rent from my business. Because you got to remember like this. When slaves think you rent, they think you're a nobody. They don't know to ask, well, who do you rent from? Who owns the company that you're renting from? They don't know to ask that question. They hear the word rent because when you rent from yourself, taxes will help you pay off your house. Okay, say like you got a mortgage, you got a house, you put that house under the business name, you move in, rent from the business that you own. This will keep you invisible from the slaves. You keep telling, so you tell slaves you have money, and then they find out you rent, they're going to think you are nobody, but you don't have to explain to them. Don't explain it to slaves. They don't need to know. They just think, oh, yeah, I rent. I'm a nobody. I don't own anything. Because the goal is this. This is my goal, to personally own nothing. Dave Ramsey says it all the time. Dave Ramsey says, I personally own nothing. You know he's a multimillionaire. How many slaves you think hear him say that? They don't hear him say that. I don't own anything. But they don't question him because they know he's a multimillionaire, so they don't really click. It doesn't really click in their brains. Nah, coming in on the set, you are so on point with the dating game, straightforward and to the point. I have to be. So, Frenchelle, I hope it kind of answered it. I haven't done it personally. I'm just saying that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go hire a lawyer that's going to understand that. Cupcake says, I believe Mike's screaming black girl magic and I'm a black lady. Mike screaming black girl magic. Sal says, what if it's a BMW 650i or the repair? See, me personally, I just don't, I'm not a BMW person, and I know they charge an arm and a leg to repairs. You know, I'm not, if you have the money, you go buy you a nice BMW under warranty somewhere at a reputable shop. Repairs go bad, fix it. Yep, you're right about that, Cupcakes. STDs for sure. It's a bunch of things, man. And when it comes to real estate, Frenchelle, Cosmic is better to ask questions about that, because I'm not saying I'm a professional in that. That's just something I heard to do. I just take that knowledge and go see a professional with it. But the person that I'm talking to, they must be debt free to understand what that means. It's more hype. Hold on for a second, guys. All right, I'm back. I remember when I first heard Mike speak, I was like, okay, because it's a language. So I understood Mike. I knew Mike understood because I could hear the way he was talking. It's a language. Yeah, you know, especially with younger people like yourself, man. It's a SMD is going to help create the next generation of wealth. It's going to help that. It's definitely going to help, especially the younger you are with this information. Yeah, Beamers. Me personally, I want a Tesla. I want a Tesla. That's what I want. And it's going to be in cash, right? With a supercharger in my house. That's one. And the reason why I look at it this way, because this is how I look at it. And this is the reason why, I mean, it's a nice car. Elon Musk is brilliant, whatever, right? But that's one more thing that I'm not locked to, because I hate, even though being debt free, you don't really pay attention to gas prices anymore. But this is what has never made any sense to me. Okay. You drive down the street with different gas stations, and they all got different prices. Why do they all have different prices? I don't get it. Is that ungladed gas different than them? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't like that. I don't like different price. And this is one thing I recently didn't understand this either. Did you guys know, like when you go to different pharmacies to pick up your prescriptions for your drugs, do you know each place charges different prices for prescription? Why is that? I get his business. I don't like that. That's the real reason why I want an electric car, because I don't want to like when they stop, the gas stopped and everybody's lines around the corner. I don't want to be involved in that. Cosmo says, I see a Texas couple got caught doing a COVID scam, basically a pyramid scheme to get people to give money to get a blessing. I read that, Cosmic. If you have been impacted by the pandemic, I saw that. And what they did was scammers are getting on you guys with fear. They know the majority of you guys are in fear. If you like right now, a lot of people are having a hard time financially. But if you get on the internet, if you get on social media, it'll look like everybody, the only person having a hard time is you. That's not true. So these people take advantage of your fear, false evidence appearing real. They take advantage of your fear. And then, they just exploit you. Exactly, Cupcakes. Exactly. Own nothing. When SMD grows through the roof and explode, and it's clear when it's clearly that I'm making multi-millions of dollars, and then I'm still saying I'm renting? What do you think slaves are going to come up with then? Oh man, he's renting, so obviously he's not making a. That's what you think, slave. That's what you think. They don't know I'm renting from myself. They don't know I'll be renting from my own business. LJ, BMW has had great marketing for generate. You're right. That's why everybody wants one. You're right. Great marketing. They do. It's all about what it is it's not even really great marketing. It's repetitiveness. All you got to do, if you guys want to see, if you guys want to know how to market, this is all you have to do. Turn on the TV, put all commercials on mute. That's how they're selling you. They're getting your feelings involved. You see Subaru? Look at all the Subaru commercials. 9 out of 10 commercials of Subarus, they got dogs driving the cars. Have you noticed that? Dogs are on the freeway. Dogs are in baby chairs. Dogs are driving trucks, asking the big trucker to talk. Dogs. Feelings. Stop financing these slave trinkets. Mercedes or taxis over. I know, I saw that. That's crazy. Same here, but the Tesla cars. About the Tesla cars, the issue I have is the maintenance. 2013 to 2015, Tesla cars are cheaper. Issue is these cars are out of warranty, but the cost to maintain them are expensive. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's new technology. Right now, it's going to be very expensive because it is a newer technology. Okay, I get it. I totally get it. But, you know, you got to think about what Elon did. Elon took, because remember, electric cars have been around for a while, the mix, right? They've been around, but they're ugly and slow. That's why the majority of people don't want to buy them, because they're ugly and slow. Elon said, I'm going to make them look cool and fast. That's why they sell. They're fast as hell. They're faster than Ferraris, Porsches, the new Plaid, the Tesla Plaid, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. That's fast. Same here, Bubba. Oh, okay. Yeah. E-Man says to get a blessing. Yeah, but people just, yeah. Unfortunately, take advantage of people's fears. Most BMWs are not built in Germany like Mercedes-Benz. If you have a BMW actually built in Germany, not Mexico, then you have a long-lasting cars. Yeah, I mean, I'm not paying those kind of repair costs. And car payments on top of that, not doing none of that. Less TV watching, just programming the mess. Yeah, definitely less TV watch. I don't really watch a lot of TV, but I like Judge Judy. I like watching Judge Judy. I just love her show, right? So I have to watch commercials. And then when commercials come on, I always mute the commercials. But all you got, if you just mute the commercial, you'll see how they sell. What's up, Nicole? With BMW, you're paying for the brand as well. Mechanically, they have a lot of plastic, and when the parts get older, they are expensive. Rock Auto or the dealer needs to be your friend. Oh, gotcha. Online. Yeah, Geico commercials are funny. Fast food commercials are the best. They are the best. Those are the best. As a car guy, many of these cars are not built in an origin country. Okay, exam. VW is a German company, but they have manufacturing in Mexico. Are Mexicans known for building? Oh, known for building. Gotcha. Yes, faster than Porsches. All you guys don't believe. Just Google Tesla versus Porsche, Tesla versus Ferrari, Tesla. Go see for yourself. Elon Musk is a man. That's a person I'm going to meet in the future. Elon Musk. Believe that. 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Yes, Tesla got run over everything. All you guys go YouTube it. Not Google. YouTube it. You'll see it. I'm a Ferrari guy. The Tesla are fast, but Ferrari is still you're right. Ferrari is still a Ferrari, right? But I'm just saying, a Tesla Plaid will eat it up. And that's not even, the Tesla Plaid is not even the fastest car that Tesla's coming out with. He's got that two-door fast something that's coming out. That's even faster than the Plaid. That's ridiculous. Now that's weird, LJ. Judge Judy is one of my hey Ken, I love Judge Judy, man. I've been watching her for over 20 years. I love her show. She just be shredding people, shredding them. And what's crazy, but like when you become, especially I'll tell you this, if you've never watched Judge Judy and you're an S&D follower, go watch Judge Judy because it's all about money, why they're there. Now you got to think about it. People will come on that show because they don't want to pay $300 or $400. So you're going to get in a plane, fly to California or wherever her show is to fight over $300. I'm not doing that. I'm not, especially if you own a company. You think I'm going to go, I don't want to pay, like you'll have a company not want to pay back. Now, remember, Judge Judy has like 20 million viewers. You own a company. You're getting sued by a customer because you don't want to give their money back for not providing them the service that you promised. And you gonna come on TV and lose. The first thing I think is, what company is that? I'll make sure I never go to that company. You don't want to pay back your customer $300 that you owe them? I'm not doing, I won't be doing no business with you. She don't play. You're right about that. What's up, Jaws? I drove a Tesla Model 3 with the dual motor. They do a quarter mile in 12.7 seconds. This is a base model too. It can keep up with an LS2 Corvette. The Model S Plaid is a 10-second car. Oh, in the quarter mile. Gotcha. Point there says, I'm hating right now. I'm a Ferrari guy and you're a Tesla guy. That's the new war in the car world. Supercars versus Tesla. And the reason, and again, the reason why I like Tesla, it doesn't use gasoline. I don't like being trapped to, even though, yeah, I'll be trapped to electricity, but it's better than being trapped by the gasoline companies. I just don't like that. Because every day you go, you can't really do anything about it. You drive by, the prices go up and down, up and down, up and down. It's this price over here, it's lower over there. How come they're not all the same? The gas station could be exactly across the street from another gas station, and the gas could be higher across the street. Why is this gas higher? I don't want to do the research even to understand why it's higher. I just don't know why it's not the same. You know why they do that? Because you have no choice. If you have a gasoline car, you have to get gas. You have to. I don't like that. But then again, when you don't have car payments, like when I pull up to the gas station, I don't really look at the gas prices. I just got my favorite gas. I go to Costco. I might look at it and it don't really mean nothing if I look at the damn gas price at Costco. Who cares? I still got to get gas regardless, right? I just go because I probably won't get credit card fraud. I won't get my card skimmed at Costco. That's the stuff I look for. But anyway, I don't know how we got off. How we get off on cars? I don't get it. Okay. First, we were talking dating minus debt. We talk about relationships and sexual relationships, and then we got on cars. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. I just want to come on and tell you guys that. Apologize to the SMD family, and get back to managing this cold, man. This bad boy has just been on me. Don't worry, I still taste everything. Still taste food, everything. So, all right, you guys. Soon as I'm gonna reach out to Ramil and get an idea of when does he want to get online tomorrow. Sorry, I was reading something else. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. All right. I know it sounds stuffed up. I know you guys can hear it too, right? All right. You guys have a wonderful evening. Until next time. See you guys tomorrow. Regardless, we're going to have a Q&A Sunday tomorrow, regardless. But even if I have to do 2, we're going to do 2. All right. All right. Yeah, I'll be on his show tomorrow. It'll be on his show. I'll be on his show. So again, I'll find out what time is he talking about, and then we'll go from there. All right. So until next time, later.